and welcome again to the Postpartum Years podcast. This is a continuation of our series on Diastasis Recti. I am Mary Ellen Cramp. I am a physical therapist and a pelvic health specialist. And today I have with me Vanessa Pinkham. She is a Pilates instructor and instructor of instructors, as well as a personal trainer. Welcome, Vanessa.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here. So, out of curiosity, in the wider, grander online educational world, and this is obviously not an exhaustive list, these are just people that come to your mind, who do you trust? What organizations do you draw knowledge or inspiration from? Who would you recommend as resources for those who would like to learn more, who are Pilates instructors and they're curious?
I'm not huge on social media right now.
Okay.
But the ones that I do follow,
because you're practicing. That's why.
Yeah, because I'm busy practicing.
You're practicing.
So the people that I do follow when I am on social media. So I'm on some platforms, but I typically only go on when somebody will ask questions of me. I will go and I'll typically respond to those questions. But people that I follow are like Rachel Rubin is a urologist, and she's heavy into sexual medicine and education. So I follow Rachel Rubin. Let's see, there are certain gynecologists.
We can link these people. We can
link some of the people. Gosh, now I'm trying to remember who some of these other people are that I follow. Tracy Scher.
I was going to say Tracy. Yes.
Tracy,
love
Tracy.
her group, love her organization.
Yeah.
Everyone in her group are all vetted as quality educators. Awesome. I'm glad.
I'm actually one. So.
Bless. Of course you are.
But no, Tracy, I mean, the reason why I put one of my courses, I teach a breast and baby course through her. And the reason why I do it through her is because I know her personally, and I know she is about quality education, and anything she puts onto social media is going to be quality. So Tracy Scher is a wonderful person to follow. And there are a lot of physicians out there that are urologists, gynecologists. Get on their, social media things.
Not the half-dressed influencers that have no connection to any clinical practices.
Right.
It's natural when you've had that change to your body aesthetically that you're going to be drawn to something that is visually appealing. That doesn't in any way indicate that they have any knowledge to be talking to the subject matter that they're speaking on, but they can edit great videos and they've got hours to do it. You're in clinical practice. You don't have that kind of time. I'm with clients. I don't have that kind of time. So it's this really unfortunate catch-22 right now in this explosion of online education, that the people who are like in the trenches doing the work are not at the computer on Adobe editing videos beautifully, but the quality being low.
Yeah.
So I'm so glad you said Tracy. I love her.
Yeah. So Tracy's a great one. And I know we never did get around to talking about the actual studies that are out there as far as exercise and diastasis. I had looked up because I'm a nerd and I like research a lot.
Sure.
One of my favorite activities that I do is go through PubMed and read journal articles because I am that nerdy. But I found one.
It's a calming activity. It's calming.
Yes.
If you know. It's so calming.
So I found a Chinese study from 2020. They put 644 women through a CT scan. Do you want to know what percentage they found had diastasis?
What percentage?
28.4%. Wow. And these are all ages of women, all different levels of, it wasn't just women who had one child. It was just 644 women they checked, and 28% of them had diastasis. A lot of women think that they just haven't lost their baby belly.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it's the diastasis because that connective tissue and the muscle are not holding the intestines back. And, you know, getting the muscles to turn on, getting that connective tissue to turn on allows the muscle and the connective tissue to hold the intestines where they're supposed to be. So that was
And then
interesting.
consistently and continually loading that tissue so that it does continue to have a conversation or a diet of strengthening after they're cleared.
Right. Right.
Wow. That's a huge stat. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay, next one.
There was a 2023 study done in Korea where they looked at women who were between 2 and 12 months postpartum, only had one child, delivered within that normal time frame, 37 to 42 weeks.
Okay.
These women did not have a diastasis. They had these women exercise 5 times a week for 4 weeks, 50 minutes at a time. So that's a boatload of 5 times a week. Yeah, 50 minutes for 4 weeks. And there was like a 4 millimeter difference in the width of the linea alba, that connective tissue between the rectus abdominis muscles.
Okay. So it didn't do harm, but it didn't change either.
Yeah, they called it a statistical significantly. I'm like, I need to look up what the measurement error is for ultrasound.
So a layperson hearing this conversation, their takeaway can be that the exercise is fine. These women were exercising a lot, and the
they
change
didn't
was
separate. Yeah,
they didn't separate at all.
Right.
It came together a tiny amount.
A tiny amount. Yeah.
Okay. I wonder what exercise they were specifically doing. Probably sit-ups.
Yeah, there was a whole, there were sit-ups, there were planks, there were, glute and all the usual culprits.
But their vagina did not fall out. Their abs
Correct.
didn't split further, because it makes sense if you are loading tissue that was remodeled through the process of bathing in hormones that relax the tissue, to then put mechanical tension against the tissue is going to improve the function of that tissue.
Mm-hmm.
Seems logical. Okay, cool. What was the next one?
All right. A 2018 Norwegian study. Okay. This one actually looked at training the pelvic floor to improve the diastasis.
Ooh.
And it found nothing.
Zero.
Did not help. Did not help at all.
So in a postpartum Pilates class, cueing the pelvic floor constantly, no point.
Yeah. No.
No reason.
And still, I'm going to say, please don't.
Please don't. You don't know if they had sexual trauma. You don't know if they have spasming of the vaginal musculature, the pelvic floor musculature. Right. You don't know if it's posterior. You don't know if it's anterior. You don't know.
You don't know if they're pushing down. You don't know if they're contracting their adductors, glutes, everything else.
And this is from someone with a glove in her hand, feeling the internal musculature of a person's body. Mm-hmm. Powerful.
And a 2021 meta-analysis. So they looked at numerous studies and found no efficacy for using pelvic floor exercises or ab exercises to treat diastasis.
Wow.
And I think that they did not separate out, okay, we have these people functioning perfectly, now go and do Pilates. Because I think in those cases, yes, you can help to close the diastasis if you have the muscles all firing the way they should. And you have all the restrictions out of the rib cage, out of the back, out of the pelvis, out of the pelvic floor, and give the body an optimal chance once you introduce exercise to improve. So I like to get everything optimal and then hand them off to do Pilates or whatever exercise they prefer to do. Yeah, I would love to see that do a study like, okay, we get everything firing perfectly. Now let's look at all these different exercise programs and know that, okay, this person knows how to contract their pelvic floor. Oh, yeah, in supine. So laying on their back, sitting, standing, because you're going to have that person, standing on that reformer and working. You're going to have that person working their legs on the reformer. You're going to have that person doing, all these sitting and rotation exercises and yet cueing the pelvic floor. But I can have somebody who can do it in supine, so laying on their back.
Yeah.
But if I have them stand, they can't. So there's also a matter of, can this person manage those activities in different positions?
Can they manage that load? That would make sense, especially because if they're supine, they're not carrying the weight of the internal organs. They're not carrying
Right.
the fluctuating weight of the bladder, the fluctuating weight of the intestines and the rectum and everything above it. Fascinating. Wow, Mary Ellen. This is great food for thought.
Yes.
And I can definitely say, thinking about my 20-year-old self, 21-year-old self, I would have loved to have listened to this conversation. So I'm grateful that we're having it, that we had it, and that it can be had in such a loving way. The goal is to uplift and educate both pelvic floor PTs and Pilates instructors so that we can create the greatest difference, put the least amount of barriers and inhibitions in place, and give the most up-to-date researched understanding so that we can have the best outcomes for all of these people taking their time, their vulnerability, their energy, their resources to come to us and our colleagues.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Is there anything else you would want to add to the general population, to Pilates instructors or any other exercise instructors?
Yeah, don't definitely. I think that the neuroses of trying to do things right, perfect form, um, wear and tear on the joints being such a common thought process. Most women are so underloaded, so understimulated, and so undermuscled that they're chronically under this threshold that can create a dramatic change within their body. They will undergo what is a massive load to their body in the form of childbirth and then still step back and underload the response that they're trying to create to get back to homeostasis and then build on above that. And so I would say, as someone who didn't lift a weight until my 30s, I would so much rather you do 3 sets of 6 reps with a resistance that matches your strength level than 4 sets of 30 pulses that aren't moving the needle at all. And allow that overall compositional stimulus and change to lift the ship of your vessel so that as you have, a sarcopenia or the consumption of lean muscle mass, as that affects all of us, but affects women greater because of our hormonal structure, that you have all of the tools and all of the resources available to you as a Pilates instructor to say that if you're strength training 2 times a week, do Pilates once, that is a beautiful recipe for a very strong structure. And if you are raising your heart rate in such a way that you break a sweat for 20 to 30 minutes a week, that as a baseline is exceptional. And that can be done in little bites. It doesn't need to be done in an hour every day.
Right.
Yeah. So to the point of women feeling confident that if the adaptation they're wanting is great, then the load needs to match that. And then whatever vehicle you choose to create that, know that if you can do 30 of them, nothing's changing. You're changing your central nervous system patterning, but you're not changing muscle. You're not growing muscle. And given that we are all losing muscle by a varying factor of 1 to 10% each decade, past 30, it's pretty significant. It's pretty serious. And the greater the mechanical load and tension that the muscle is exerting on the bone, the greater outcomes on the health of the bone, which osteopenia, the precursor osteoporosis, and then osteoporosis, that is also something that we are seeing in younger and younger age demographics, which is scary.
Mm-hmm.
So all of that is countered through the simplicity of traditional strength training. So it's not as pretty as Pilates. I love for a student to take the strength that they build with their body weight at home, bands, weights, or in a gym setting. And then I understand the love of Pilates because I love to teach it. There's a reason I teach Pilates and I'm not in a gym as a personal trainer. I love the artistry and the beauty of the patterns that I get to create in the bodies in front of me. But to know and understand that if you want to have the long-term health and the outcomes of what we see in a toned body, it is built in resistance training. It is not built in just a Pilates studio. And so when you are coming to a Pilates studio because you have a diastasis recti, know that you want to grow beyond just the resistance of the reformer springs or the Cadillac or the chair. You want to lift something heavier. And if you have small children, your children are getting heavier. If you can carry your 70-year-old child, I want to know that you can squat 70 pounds too.
70-pound child, maybe?
Exactly.
You said 70-year-old.
70 pounds. Oh, I'm sorry. I meant 70. Sorry. It's getting late. I'm hungry. I want you to be able to squat your 70-pound child.
Yeah.
If you're carrying them, it's sensible. And the beauty that I have been able to experience in watching that in all of the varied, my oldest client right now is, she'll be 80 in November. That is what I get to relish in, is that yes, they're learning the presence and the poise and the control and the balance and all of those things that we come to Pilates for, but then we're marrying it with science where you trust and understand that you're not going to harm your abdominals by progressively loading them. You're not going to damage your pelvic floor. We have the clinical research to back it up. And it does not take a lot of time. Most of my strength training cycles are 15 to 20 minutes long because that's the kind of time I have.
Mm-hmm.
In the season of life that I'm in, I have a small child.
Yeah.
When I'm your age, I'm going to live in the gym. Till then, we ain't got that kind of time, and that's okay. So, do you have any further questions for me that you'd like me to answer?
Well, I know for me as a PT, I make sure that the movements that my patients are doing are quality. So if they're going to do 10 reps, I want them to do 10 like good
controlled repetitions,
and not be using every other muscle to be able to lift that weight. Because yes, like, if you're doing a bicep curl and you're doing it just like Vanessa was doing, you're not doing an actual bicep curl. If you're going to be lifting the weight and taxing the muscle, taxing it properly, so you're actually getting the movement that in strengthening that's desired, and not swinging a weight around and calling it that's what you're lifting.
Yeah, and I think that's where that mind-body connection is so emphasized in Pilates, because it is, if you're intending a conversation with a specific area, then you should be executing the movement that indicates that you are creating the effect in that area, be your abs or your back or your bicep or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
It has value.
Yeah.
It is important.
From my end, I always want to see quality of movement before somebody steps into strengthening.
Yeah.
And that's when I turn them over. It's like, okay, you've got your quality now. Go, fly,
Fantastic.
Fly, little birdie.
Well, even you said earlier that you haven't found anyone in the DC area. I am sure that there are hundreds of incredible instructors in the area. So hopefully when this goes live, we can then get those contacts and those, get their acts and then tag them in, because it'll be awesome to build a network that's beyond what we both know here in Florida.
Yeah.
And then what you've built there in DC within the PT world.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you.
So hopefully people have a better understanding of diastasis and exercise involved in that and how it can help.
And that there's not much that hinders. That one study, there's not much that hinders, which is incredible. It should be that's relieving for me. I know it, but it's so nice to hear it.
So nice to see it in black and white.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome.
All right.
Well,
Well,
thank you so much.
thank you so much. And we'll see you next time on Postpartum Years Podcast. Thanks. Bye.